Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom, and welcome to Less Than 10 Minutes. Words to Yashar'al, Nation of Believers. My name is Symmanayah, and today is August 9th, 2013. And if you're tuning in for the first time, you will come to know that Yashar'al, of whom I am referring, represents all those who seek to worship and obey the Most High Father, Yahuwah, and who accept Yahusha as our Messiah, as our Mashyach. These are my brothers and sisters. This is my family, consisting of Hebrew and Goyim, or Gentiles as they commonly are known, or other nations. These are my brothers and sisters. We are made one by Yahusha, our Mashyach. With that said, I'd like to focus this segment on warnings and preparedness. Warnings, preparedness, and the Watchman. Warnings, preparedness, and the Watchman. Many have come to grips that we are living in the last days, or end times as some prefer to call them. With an enormous amount of people claiming to interpret latter-day prophecy and or end of days, it has created a vacuum of insensitivity to what truly is real. People making predictions and stating specific dates with a degree of their perceived notion of accuracy. Let us take a look at some scriptures regarding this journey in these final hours before the return of the Mashyach, the Messiah Yahusha, as it relates to warnings, preparedness, and the Watchman. Ezekiel 3:17 reads as follows, and I'm going to read Ezekiel 3:17 through 21. Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Yashar'al, and you shall hear a word from my mouth, and you shall warn them from me. When I say to the wrong, you shall certainly die, and you have not warned him, nor spoken to warn the wrong from his wrong way, to save his life, that same wrong man shall die in his crookedness, and his blood I require at your hand. But if you have warned the wrong, and he does not turn from his wrong, nor from his wrong way, he shall die in his crookedness, and you have delivered your being. And when a righteous one turns from his righteousness and shall do unrighteousness, when I have put a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because you did not warn him. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he has done is not remembered, and his blood I require at your hand. But if you have warned the righteous one that the righteous should not sin, and he did not sin, he shall certainly live, because he has been warned, and you have delivered your being. Yes, there's a responsibility of a watchman. Who is such? What are the characteristics of a watchman? One who engages the living spirit of Yahusha. One who is sensitive to the voice of Yahusha. One who receives a message of something to come. One who brings clarity in the midst of chaos. One who brings focus in the midst of confusion. You may not see it as such, my brothers and sisters, but I encourage you to pray. Pray for discernment. Discernment to receive these words. Let me read another scripture, some more scripture. 2 Timothy 4:2 says, proclaim the word, be urgent in season, out of season, reprove, warn, appeal with all patience and teaching. Notice the word warn in that verse. That was 2 Timothy 4:2. Hebrews 12:25 reads, 25 to 29 says, take heed not to refuse the one speaking. For if those did not escape who refused the warning on earth, much less we who turn away from him from heaven, whose voice shook the earth then, but now has promised, saying, yet once more I shake not only the earth, but also the heaven. And this yet once more makes clear the removal of what is shaken, as having been made, so that the unshaken matters might remain. Therefore, receiving an unshakable reign, let us hold the favor through which we serve Elohim pleasingly with reverence and awe. For indeed our Elohim is a consuming fire. Think about this, my brothers and sisters. Is there something that's going to happen? Last days, end times? Have we established an expectation of something dreadful as we may see it, or something magnificent? There is much scripture that lets us know the fruit of man's rebellion will come to an end. It will visit him, and it will come to an end. But those who seek to worship and obey the Most High Father Yahuwah and accept Yahusha as Mashyach, life everlasting. Have we begun to see things similar to the following scriptures I'm getting ready to read? Think about this for a minute. This is Matthew 24:4 through 13. And Yahusha answered, said to them, take heed that no one leads you astray. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and they shall lead many astray. And you shall begin to hear of fightings and reports of fightings. See that you are not troubled, for these have to take place, but the end is not yet. Some versions will say war and rumors of wars. For nation shall rise against nation, and reign against reign, and there shall be scarcities of food. That's famine, brothers and sisters. Deadly disease and earthquakes in places. And all these are the beginning of birth pains. Then they shall deliver you up to affliction and kill you, and you shall be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many shall stumble, and they shall deliver up one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise up and lead many astray. And because of the increase in lawlessness, the love of many shall become cold. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. My brothers, are we witnessing some of these events occurring, coming before our eyes? What about the parable of the maidens in the oil? Are we to take this to mean we must prepare for such a time as appointed regarding the return of Yahusha? Take a look at it. Matthew 25, verse 1 through 12. And ask yourself, is this encouraging us to be prepared? My brothers and sisters, remember we are provided with signs of the times. Let us learn how to take heed to the living instructions and guidance of the Spirit of Yahusha. 1 Thessalonians 5, 1 through 4 reads, Now, brothers, as the time and the seasons, you do not need to be written to, for yourselves know very well that the day of Yahuwah comes as a thief in the night. For when they say peace and safety, then suddenly destruction comes upon them, as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. But you, brothers, are not in darkness, so that the day should overtake you as a thief. That was 1 Thessalonians 5, 1 through 4. If we continue to just trust in written text and neglect the power and might of a living Elohim Yahuwah, how then can we receive his warnings? How then can we recognize his appointed watchman if we only trust in what we can read and see? Where is our belief? If we read the Spirit makes alive, how can we discover the life in his words if we only trust the letter? The enemy will use distractions and delusions much more now than ever before because he knows his time is near. In the midst of all the end time and doomsday prediction, along with actual latter-day prophecy, I urge each and every one of you to prepare your mind and body for major changes and for abrupt transition. I am compelled to believe a time will come when Yashar'al, a nation of believers, will seek one another fervently. I believe phenomenal things are about to occur that will humble us and clear our sight while opening our ears to hear the living instructions and guidance from the Spirit of Yahusha. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. The plan of the Most High Father will not tarry, pause, retreat, nor stop. Do not succumb to panic, but seek to discern those who are guided by the Spirit of Yahusha. Till next time, my brothers and sisters, shalom, shalom, shalom.